I don't like this kind of stigmatization, and I don't like these kind of simplification of things. We are not.
It's fair to say that it's a friendly relationship.
No, it's a pragmatic relation. We care about our national interest, and if you live in Central Europe, you know that you cannot afford not to talk to Russia.
Because it's not just European countries that are friendly towards Russia. I'd love to know, where do you think, from what he's said since becoming president, Donald Trump sits on that scale?
Well, actually, we cross fingers for the success of Donald Trump, and we really cross fingers for him to be able to build a balanced relationship with Russia, because, we are, as I told you, we are living in Central Europe, and we have a very clear understanding of history, which says that whenever there was a conflict between East and West, Central Europe always lost. That is so simple, and we don't want to be losers anymore. So when we argue, or when we wish, we hope for a better relationship between the US and Russia, it's not because we are pro-Russia or pro-US, it's because we are pro-Hungary.
Do you agree with him when he said earlier today that the West is under threat?
Well, I totally agree with the position that the civilized world is under attack. For us, the better the relationship between US and Russia is the better for us. The worst relationship between US and Russia is the worst for us. We are living in Central Europe, okay, once again. We are not living on the Mars.
Is it fair to describe Mr. Orbán's government as being among the more Eurosceptic in the European Union?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, Hungarian people, including the Hungarian government, are very pro-European. But what I can tell you is the following, that we are absolutely pro-European. We want strong European Union because Hungary can be strong, really strong in a strong European Union. We have 80% of our trade going on with the EU countries. So we are interested in a strong European Union. But we have a serious debate with Brussels, with some other member states about how to get there. So we say that the federalist approach will not work out. So we are rather on a sovereignist path, saying that strong European Union must be based on strong member states.
How does Brexit look from Budapest?
Well, to be very honest, we regretted the decision.
Why?
Because it's a big political and economic loss for the European Union, because you had a very strong voice in the debate about the future of Europe, and we were on the same side. So we will miss your voice. So this debate will be now unbalanced, because the leader of one camp, or the strongest voice of one camp, falls out. On the meantime, here we have a nightmare scenario, to be very honest. If there's no deal, if there's no comprehensive economic, trade and investment agreement, then we will be in a big trouble in Europe, because the last time we were able to implement a free trade agreement was in 2011, free trade agreement with Korea. So the problem is that EU is very slow on free trade agreements, and if you get free hands, if Britain gets free hands, then you will be able to sign free trade agreements with India, with Turkey, with the US, with Australia, with which we do not have. European Union does not have free trade agreements. So if this is the case, then it will harm our competitiveness, harm the competitiveness of European furthermore. So that's why we are pushing for a fair, I don't like this categorization of soft and hard.
Do you understand?
I like fair Brexit.
Do you understand the categorization? Because I don't.
Okay, that's why I don't like, because I don't understand. Okay, so it's a common point, definitely. So we want fair Brexit, that's for sure. Balanced, fair Brexit, which will end up in mutual benefits and mutual positive outcome. But we want the most comprehensive economic, trade and investment partnership with the UK in the future. But I think that we are on the right track. So we are ready. I hope European institutions are ready to negotiate in a, let's say, constructive manner. Because what we don't want is the following, that you look back to the time of your referendum. Then some of the reactions on behalf of European institutions were like, as those persons took it as a personal insult, what you have decided. And we don't want any European institutions to sit at the negotiating table as a group of insulted persons. And we don't want the European negotiators or EU negotiators to play for revenge. What we want is to have a good deal at the end, a fair deal, a balanced one.
Foreign Minister, many thanks.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.